There is a particular kind of message that takes years to arrive. Not because it's slow, because you were not yet ready to hear it. The cosmos is preparing one of those messages for you right now. Today is May 11th. In about 36 hours, just past midnight on the night of May 12th Eastern Time, Mercury at 20 degrees and 45 minutes of Taurus will form an exact sextile with Jupiter at 20 degrees and 45 minutes of Cancer. Same degree, same minute. Both planets stopping in the sky long enough to hand each other something. And what they're handing each other has your name on it. I'm Luna Solano, and today I'm not going to give you a lecture. I'm going to talk to you directly, the way I would if you were sitting across from me with a cup of tea, and you had finally said the thing you've been editing in your head for the past 2 years. Because I know that's where some of you are. I've been getting the same message from so many of you this week, a feeling that something is almost ready to break open, a page that's almost ready to turn, a sentence that's almost ready to leave your mouth. And you're right, the almost is real. And by midnight tomorrow night, the almost becomes the now. Let me tell you what I'm seeing. I've been watching this for 40 years. Mercury and Jupiter have danced together many times in my career. Small sextiles, big conjunctions, every few months. Most of them I would not record a video about. They come and go. But this one is different. And I want to tell you why. Jupiter is currently in Cancer. Cancer is Jupiter's sign of exaltation. That's an old technical term, and in plain language it means this is the place in the entire zodiac where Jupiter is at its strongest. Cancer is home. It's lineage. It's the kitchen table where your grandmother taught you the recipe. It's the question of where you actually belong, not where you happen to live. Jupiter sitting in Cancer makes every aspect to Jupiter louder than usual, every message bigger, every blessing more amplified. Now add Mercury. Mercury is the messenger, the one who carries letters across long distances, the one who places a piece of paper in your hand and waits to see what you do with it. Mercury in Taurus moves slowly. Taurus likes to take its time, doesn't rush a sentence, doesn't say something it can't keep. So this message, the one being delivered this week, has been edited carefully. By you, by the cosmos, by the part of you that's been protecting it. And here's what makes me sit up. The exact degree, 20 degrees and 45 minutes. The Sabian symbol for that degree of Taurus, the canonical one from Mark Edmund Jones, written in 1925, the foundational text, is this: a finger pointing to a line in an open book. A finger pointing to a line in an open book, not a closed book, not a hidden book, an open book, already turned to the right page, and a finger directing your gaze to the exact line you needed to read. The cosmos as editor. And then, on the Cancer side, at 20 degrees and 45 minutes of Cancer, where Jupiter is exalted. The Sabian symbol is a prima donna singing. This is the part nobody talks about. When you put those two symbols together, finger pointing to a line in an open book, plus prima donna singing, what the sky is saying to you this week is not subtle. The page has been turning for you. The message you almost weren't ready to hear is about to land. And the voice you've been preparing for decades is the one that gets to read it out loud. I need you to hear this before midnight tomorrow night. This is why I had to record this today. A woman wrote to me last week. I'll call her Ramona. She's 65. She lives in a small town in Wisconsin, and she said something I haven't been able to put down. She wrote, "Luna, I have been almost ready to say something for 2 years, and I don't know if I'm waiting for permission or for proof or for a sign." I pulled up her chart. Her Mercury is in Taurus. Her natal Jupiter is in Cancer. The transiting sextile this week activates her chart precisely along the line she's been pacing for 2 years. And what I want to tell you, what I told her, is what I want you to hear too. Because if you're watching this configuration is lighting up your life this week as well, even if you don't know your degrees yet. So before we go any further, subscribe so you don't miss what comes next. The next 2 weeks are critical, and I'll be here for the after. Now let me be honest with you about something. I'm not here to tell you to manifest harder. I track the sky for timing, so you can plan your life with clarity instead of guessing. And right now, the sky is telling you the timing for the message has arrived. There are 3 things I want you to walk away with today. 3 messages from this sextile. And then I want to give you something specific to do. The first message is personal. The page has been turning for you all year, and this week the finger lands on the line. What that means in real life is this. If you have been finding old journals lately, if you've been opening drawers and seeing notes from yourself you forgot you wrote, if a phrase from a podcast or a sentence in a book or a thing your daughter said offhand has been landing too precisely, you're not imagining it. The cosmos is editing your week, pointing your gaze to specific lines, highlighting specific underlines, saying, this one, not that one, this. In my 40 years of chart reading, I've watched this particular kind of week unfold over and over. People say the same thing afterward. They say, I don't know why, but I kept finding the same idea everywhere. That's Mercury in Taurus, perfecting its sextile to exalted Jupiter. The cosmos doesn't make mistakes. The repetition is the message. What I want you to do between now and midnight tomorrow is pay attention to what your finger keeps landing on. Whether it's a literal book or a thought you keep returning to, or a memory you can't stop replaying. Don't dismiss the repetition. Write it down. The line your finger is pointing to is the one the cosmos has opened the book to. That's the first message. The second one surprised even me when I traced it. The second message is relational. The voice you've been editing in private is about to be handed back to you by someone else. Jupiter in Cancer, exalted, in the 21st degree, with the Sabian image of a prima donna singing. This isn't just about your inner voice. Cancer rules family, lineage, the people who knew you before you became a public version of yourself. And what tends to happen with this transit in the days surrounding the sextile is that someone close to you, a sibling, an old friend, a child who has known you their whole life, a parent if your parent is still living, names something true about you out loud, something you've been almost convinced wasn't true, something you've been editing in private for too long. If a conversation this week ends with someone in your circle saying to you, "You've always been the one who," or "I've always thought you should," or even just, "Why don't you?" Write it down. Write the exact words. Because that is the cosmos confirming through other people what you've been doubting in private. You haven't been imagining the sense that you have a gift you've been hiding. The chart confirms it. The week confirms it. The people around you are about to confirm it. The prima donna doesn't sing alone. She sings because someone in the back of the theater believed first. And I'll be honest with you, when I first traced this through Ramona's chart, I had to read it twice. I'll tell you why in a moment. That's the second message. The third one is the one I keep coming back to, the one I think your generation in particular needs to hear. The third message is bigger than personal. It's civilizational, and it's specifically yours. Jupiter in Cancer is a once every 12 years transit. The last time Jupiter sat at this exact degree of Cancer was the summer of 2002. The time before that, the summer of 1990, the year of German reunification. The time before that, 1978, the year of the Camp David Accords and the election of John Paul II. There is a pattern across all of those years, not in the politics, in the underneath. Every time Jupiter sits at the heart of Cancer, the conversation about home gets louder. What is home? Who is family? Where do we belong? What is worth returning to and what is worth releasing? And here's the part I want to say carefully, because I know who is watching. Your generation is the first one in modern history being asked to redefine home after 60. There is no template for this. Your mothers redefined home at 30. Your grandmothers redefined home at 20. You have done all of that already, and now the cosmos is asking again. After the children, after the careers, after the relationship that ended or the one that lasted, or the house that no longer fits. What do you want home to mean for the rest of your life? The discomfort you've been feeling, the restlessness about the house, the questions about the city, the strange clarity about which family members you actually want close. That is not selfishness. That is not midlife crisis. That is Jupiter in Cancer, asking your entire generation to redefine belonging after you've already done the first 3 rounds of it. You are not alone in this question. You are part of a wave. And this week, with the finger pointing to the line and the prima donna singing, the answer starts to clarify. 3 messages: personal, relational, civilizational. The page is turning. The voice is being handed back. Home is being redefined. Now, I want to talk directly to 3 signs the cosmos is loud about this week. Even if your sun sign isn't listed, check your rising sign. That's the lens through which this energy enters your specific life. If you are a Taurus, or if Taurus is your rising sign, Mercury is sitting on you, in your first house, in your voice, in the way you describe yourself to yourself before you describe yourself to anyone else. The thing you have been almost ready to say for 6 months. Write it down before midnight tomorrow night. Don't post it. Don't text it. Just write it on a piece of paper. Put your finger on the sentence. Read it once out loud. The cosmos will take it from there. If you are a Cancer or Cancer rising, Jupiter is exalted on you in your first house. You are the prima donna this week. Literally. The cosmos has set the stage. And here's what I'd tell you directly, because I know how Cancer placements over-explain, especially the older ones. Stop justifying. One conversation this week, choose carefully only one, where you don't explain why, where you say what you mean, and you don't add a paragraph of reassurance afterward. Watch what happens. The exhaustion of the over-explanation is real, and the prima donna does not apologize for the song. If you are a Virgo or Virgo rising, Mercury rules your sign. The sextile lights up your 9th and 11th houses, publishing, friendship, the public conversation. The long thing you've been drafting, the book, the course, the letter, the manuscript, the plan that has lived in a drawer, finds its real first reader this week. Don't share the manuscript. Share 1 page. Choose 1 person. Choose the right one. The prima donna doesn't open a tour with a stadium. She opens with a voice teacher who knew her at 15. Find that person. Hand them 1 page. And again, even if your sun sign wasn't listed, check your rising. The lens through which this energy reaches you is the rising sign your soul chose for this lifetime. So I've shown you the sky, traced the history, named what's lighting up. The question I get most when I read a chart like this one is, Luna, what do I actually do with this? Let me give you something specific. Tonight or tomorrow night, something simple. Something I would tell you if you were sitting across from me on the phone, the way I told Ramona. Find a book in your house, any book, the one you've been meaning to finish, or the one on your nightstand, or the one your mother left you, or a paperback from a thrift store. It does not matter. What matters is that it's a real book. Not a screen, not a Kindle, paper. Light a candle, white or cream if you have one. If you don't, any candle. Pour yourself a glass of water, not wine, water. Cancer is the water sign, and Mercury in Taurus likes the body grounded. Sit down. Hold the closed book between your hands. Ask out loud, and out loud matters here. The Prima Donna sings, she does not whisper. Ask, what is the message I have been almost ready to hear? Then open the book to a page, any page. Close your eyes. Pass your finger down the open page slowly. When you feel a pull, a small tug, a hesitation, the sense of warmth or weight, stop. Open your eyes. Read the line your finger is resting on. That's the line. Write it down on a small piece of paper. Underneath the line, write 3 words of your own. Only 3, no paragraphs, that respond to it. Then take a sip of the water. Blow out the candle, toward yourself, not away. You are not casting away what arrived. You are completing the receiving. Fold the paper. Put it under your pillow that night. Sleep on it. The affirmation, the exact words I want you to say in the moment between writing and folding the paper is this. My voice is ready. The page has been turning for me all year. Tonight, I read. Say it once, out loud. Even if you live alone, especially if you live alone. And here's what to avoid for the next 48 hours after the sextile perfects. Don't make a large financial decision based purely on a feeling that arrives this week. Jupiter in Cancer can amplify emotion to the point where a real signal feels indistinguishable from a wave of homesickness. Wait 3 days. The signal will still be there. The wave will have settled. Don't start a hard conversation after midnight. Mercury in Taurus wants slow processing. Anything you start in the dark hours will be re-edited tomorrow. Save the conversation for daylight. And don't sign anything legal in the heat of the message. Jupiter expanding, plus Cancer feeling, plus Mercury talking, equals a high risk of overcommitment. The opportunity will still be there in 72 hours. Real opportunities do not vanish in 3 days. After 40 years of watching people move through these cycles, here's what I've actually seen work. The ones who write down the line and then sit with it for a full 48 hours before acting get the message in full. The ones who act in the first hour get a fragment. The cosmos is handing you the page. Read the whole page before you turn it. Let me answer some of the questions I know you're already asking. How long do I have to work with this energy? The sextile perfects just past midnight on the night of May 12th, Eastern Time. The window of effect is roughly 72 hours on either side. So from now through the end of the week. After May 16th, the planets begin to separate, and the window closes. What if my sign wasn't mentioned? Check your rising. If your rising is Taurus, Cancer, or Virgo, the message lands directly. If your rising is one of the other signs, the energy reaches you through a different house. Every chart receives this transit, just through different doors. What if I do the ritual and nothing seems to land? The cosmos doesn't always answer in real time. The ones who write the line down without forcing it, the answer often arrives in the 7 days after, in a conversation, in a phrase a friend says, in a memory you didn't expect. The work is not the dramatic moment. The work is staying open through the week. What if I've already gotten the message, and I'm scared of it? Then you've done the hard part. The next part is the prima donna's part. You don't need more proof. You need to sing. Here's what I want you to walk away with today. The page is turning for you. The cosmos has had your name underlined for a long time. The voice you have been editing in private, the one you have been almost ready to use, is the one being asked for. Not eventually. This week. You haven't been imagining the almost. The almost was real. The almost was the cosmos preparing you for the now. In my 40 years of chart reading, this is the kind of week that in retrospect people circle on a calendar. They don't know it in the moment. They know it later, when they look back and realize that the conversation, or the book they opened, or the line their finger landed on, was the beginning of something. I don't know which one of those it will be for you. The cosmos doesn't tell me everything, but I trust the chart, and the chart is loud this week. Tell me in the comments, what's the one almost you've been carrying? Don't worry about whether it sounds dramatic or small. Write the almost. Hold yourself accountable here. I read every word, and what you share guides what I explore next. Until next time, keep looking up. This is Luna Solano.